Hello and welcome back to Flow State. It is episode 2, and as always, or as of the last few months since we've started adjusting our recording times, I'm joined by a slightly groggy Adam today. Bless his little heart for coming on at the butt crack of dawn to talk with me in my lovely afternoon setting. But firstly, Adam, I know you're obviously a little bit kind of tired there, but otherwise, how are you feeling today?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty good, mate. But I'm just gonna call you out here.
Oh no!
You just introduced episode 2.
Oh no, 32. 30. Guess
So
who's the groggy one?
now?
You know what? I at least
Got me on back very quickly.
Yeah, man. You're quicker than me this afternoon. I think the difference is I'm coming off the back of a work day.
Physically I might look groggy, mate, but the brain's sharp.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. Physically, I feel fantastic. Mentally, not so much. But now that you've called me out and I'm all red faced, how are you today? You were obviously battling with an illness last couple of weeks.
Yeah, not too bad, mate. I think I'm just about over it. Actually, it's been a drawn out. It's the longest time I've ever been under the weather, to be honest. But I'm feeling a fair bit better. People's probably going to think I'm a complete yap, but feeling better. Probably still not 100%. But definitely don't have as much of the sniffles and as much of the cold.
You sound good.
Yeah, feeling a fair bit better. But I think a lot of it's going about. I've been speaking to a lot of clients and other people that have been talking about just being sick, and especially in the final weeks leading into their races, feeling like they've picked up something. I was actually watching Phil Sessman's little documentary when I was training in the gym yesterday, and he's running Amsterdam Marathon this weekend, which will be gone by the time this podcast gets sent out. But he was just talking about picking up a little bit of sickness in the week or the days leading into his race. But I'm feeling better, mate. How are you? It's good speaking to you.
Yeah, it's always good. It's always I might be mentally a bit foggy, but this is always the highlight and the best way to end a week, honestly. But no, I'm very good. Had an okay week of training, and obviously last week we were chatting a little bit about the results with my foot. So I've done some kind of reflection on that, and I think it's good to sometimes get perspective. So I think it's been a week of perspective for me, just kind of weighing up what I want to do going forward. And I've had no kind of drastic epiphanies that I want to stop or anything. And if anything, to be honest, today I really had the urge to go out and do a faster run. I was because again, my runs at the moment have been easy to steady at most. Like Wednesday, I'm doing a little bit of a bigger run, but otherwise I'm doing 10K real slow. And today, you can probably see it behind me, we've officially kind of got to that spring, that Melbourne spring. We're getting 20 to 25 degree days. And I was just I really, really would rather go out and do a nice interval, like a threshold session, an LT1 session, than sit on the bike. I didn't, because I'm an adult and I know that it's not going to do me any good. But man, I do want to get to the point where I can hopefully not necessarily race, because I think I'm a long way away from racing, or at least at the level I'd want to be, or training at the level I'd want to be to race. But I want to be able to get to the point where I can kind of just open up the valves a little bit and do some running. So hopefully in the coming weeks to months I can do that. But no, otherwise good. And I know we were talking a little bit off air, and I think this is probably a good place to start. But you remember me saying last Saturday I was getting some blood work done? And man, first off, I am terrible with needles, and I can confirm, terrible with needles, to the point where I was sitting in the pathology place on Saturday morning with my pregnant partner. We are I can tell this is
newsflash.
This can be podcast news. It's pretty common knowledge, in-person news, but I am expecting another offspring at the start of next year / end of this year. I'm a practical man. I deal in absolutes, right? So, I'm sitting there in the pathology.
Well, congratulations, Luke. And we just press pause there for a sec. And
thank you, mate.
Big congratulations from me. Obviously, I knew this for quite a while, but also the Weather podcast audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, big congrats, man.
To be honest,
Exciting times.
we probably did need to mention it because I'm guessing at some point at the end of this year / start of next year, we will be going, or I will be going on a little bit of a hiatus. So
That's understandable.
that would explain why. But yeah, here I am sitting there ready to get my blood test. There's kind of my 2-year-old sitting next to me, kind of singing and doing whatever he's doing. Pregnant missus. I'm literally there shaking because I get that anxious to the point I'm shaking. I'm properly shitting myself, excuse my French. And yeah, it's as terrible as it is every time. And I've had a few blood tests. So yeah, insight into me, I'm still dreadful with blood tests, but I got my results back. And I want to preface this. So the reason I wanted to get blood tests done, again, I'm going to give them a massive shout out because I am working with a good friends of mine, Scott and Grace, who run or will be starting up a little company, brand, business, whatever you want to call it, called Tailored Healthcare Solutions here in Melbourne. They're not quite up and running, but they are kind of on the way. So please check out their Instagram. Shout out to them. But I was speaking to them about wanting to look into some bits and pieces, hormones, specifically for me, kind of testosterone. I wanted to get checked out, and then it's just some things that are applicable to endurance athletes as well as me being on a plant-based diet. So we're thinking about B12, vitamin D, iron, general kind of vitamin mineral levels, thyroid function, fasting blood glucose and whatnot, because I think it's, again, my needs are slightly different because I am on a plant-based diet and there's stuff that I'm more likely to be deficient in. And as well, like when you're going out, and I'm sure it's going to be different based on your volume of training, but it wouldn't surprise me if you're doing high volumes or relatively high volumes of endurance training that things like testosterone do take a hit, because it's massively, massively stressful. And again, because I'm expecting to go through a period of bad sleep and high stress in the coming months, I was like, I want to get on top of things now, identify any insufficiencies so that when my little one comes and things potentially get worse, I can just be on top of it as I can. So
Yeah. I mean, that was actually just what I was going to ask. Sorry, Luke. Was there something that prompted this,
yeah.
or was it just like, But that's a really good reason. You're kind of preempting some stressful times down the line.
Yeah, and I think realistically,
have you been feeling like lackluster or anything recently?
To be honest, like I'd say I maybe haven't been feeling my best. I've definitely felt worse, but again, it is so hard to pinpoint like exactly why, because it could be I've had a few weeks of bad sleep, and that could be why I'm not feeling great. But I think the problem is, and I speak to a lot of my clients about this kind of thing, especially when it comes to sleep. I know we're talking about blood tests here, but it is applicable to sleep, is that I think when you live a certain way for so long, let's say you have a deficiency or you sleep like crap and you do it for so long, it also almost becomes your normal, and
100%.
you forget what it feels like to feel good.
100%.
So I think that's when it's a good idea to sometimes take a little bit of a step back and do some reflection and be like, okay, have I just normalized feeling terrible?
Couldn't agree more. That's something I've thought about a lot over the last few years. 100%. I couldn't agree more, especially like as an endurance athlete or as like someone that's, I don't know, like a really busy parent. You become, your whole like perception of what normal feels like from an energy perspective or a feeling perspective just gets so muddled, and you forget what good actually feels like.
Yeah.
I really couldn't agree more with that. As I say, it's something that I've thought about a lot.
And honestly, to add to that as well, I think being like, if you're doing endurance sport, chances are you're a pretty tough cookie, because what we do is tough, and you kind of learn, as the name might suggest, to endure. So it's probably exacerbated in populations like us, and so I think I like insight, man. We spoke about this in some of the earlier episodes, that I like data, I like insight, and I would realistically, were I not so terrible with needles, I'd probably look at getting my bloods done every 6 months or so, but I'm
Yeah.
terrified, so I didn't. um,
Yeah.
but
And can we touch on, I
mm,
guess, the plant-based diet,
mm,
um, and how that may impact things as well? Because I think that's really that's a really interesting point. And I would
yeah.
actually love to hear your perspective on it, to be honest. Um, because I know you've been plant-based for a really long time.
I have, man, and yeah, all kind of ties in with my results as well. Because I mean, like the obvious ones, things like your vitamin B12, which I do supplement pretty hard, or not pretty hard, but I make sure I take a supplement that is giving me plenty of that. And long story short, my B12 was fine. And any of the other vitamins and minerals were all okay. But the other one that I was kind of questioning, and I've actually been questioning for a little while, especially being plant based, is iron. Because I've listened to a few podcasts and I have done a little bit of research in this. I'm a bit of a PubMed warrior sometimes, but what tends to happen with plant based diets is that we are normally basically, there's different types of iron. So heme iron is what you'd get from things like your red meats, very easily absorbed, and the body can just, like, if anything, oversaturate. So you find people with high red meat diets eating steak every day that actually iron intake is probably too high.
Yeah,
Whereas
they probably have gout as well.
potentially, yeah, potentially, right? But for plant-based diets, it's the opposite. Chances are you're going to be just above or just within the normal range. But then the caveat to that is the body can regulate your intake quite well. So you're probably quite consistent in being under that. But I've got the added difference in that when you're an endurance athlete, and especially if you train in hotter climates, which not right now is only just kind of becoming an issue, but if you are training in heat, your iron intake goes up because red blood cell count goes up, and total blood volume might even increase, right? So I've been conscious about this for a while, and lo and behold, I am slightly deficient in iron. I'm not much outside of the range. So the range is, I think it's 30. It's sorry, I'm just going over numbers in my head. It's judged by ferritin, so it's not actually, they're not looking at total iron. They're looking at
Yeah,
ferritin, and the
yeah,
range is 30 to 70, and I'm 28, right? Which is, you do get it's a red flag. It's literally a red flag. It comes up in
yeah.
red. So
And particularly for an endurance athlete, they kind of want an endurance athlete to be more towards the sort of mid to upper of the range, I believe.
you're probably, it would make sense, right? So
Unless it was a sports doctor that you went to, where, because that's the thing. Just sorry again, just to stop you. I know that sometimes, like blood testing, you got to be quite careful, because certain blood tests, the normal ranges that are kind of uh,
Gem Pop.
desirable for Gen Pop, that they're not so much applicable to an endurance athlete. So, like, whilst you might look to be in the normal range or the green range, it's always best having someone run their eye over it that's kind of in tune with. I mean, that's the beauty of going to a sports doctor, or speaking with someone that just knows what athletes need. Because yeah, their requirements are different to, like you say, Gen Pop.
No, exactly right. And again, Scott and Grace, who I'm working with, they're not specifically sports doctors, but he's like me. He's a marathon runner. I actually did a little bit of I kind of looked over his marathon block, the 6 week marathon block, because he did, mate, what a weapon. I'm just gonna give him another shout out. He did Sydney just to run it back in, that would have been about 5-6 weeks ago. Um,
Yeah,
and then he did Melbourne last weekend and got a PB. So, mate, absolutely smashed it. And he knows my feelings and how impressed I am with that. But I gave him a little bit of help, not to toot my own horn, but I did kind of help him with that. It was my way of doing the Melbourne Marathon alongside
uh,
him. But
good
he
on
he
him.
he gets it. right? So he's very insightful in that manner. So now I've identified that. I know that, okay, my diet alone is not doing it, because realistically, I'd say I'm probably optimizing a plant-based diet as much as it can be optimized for iron, right? I'm eating 10 grams of spirulina a day. I'm cooking my greens. I'm eating a ton of tofu and any kind of plant iron. It's already in my diet. So the next step is to go, okay, I need to go harder with the supplementation. And then we'll reassess in about 6 months. But to be honest with you, I'm really keen to see if I actually feel the difference, because you hear a lot of iron deficiency is obviously really common in females, especially with kind of like a heavier period, for instance. So they'd always say that, okay, I started taking iron supplementation. I feel great after about 3 months. So I'm interested to see if I feel a difference and if performance increases, because you'd have thought that if you're getting more iron, you can start actually building red blood cells. Obviously, they carry oxygen. Oxygen, that's a driver of performance. Okay, have I got myself a little performance enhancer here? That's where my head goes. So
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah, and you absolutely should feel a difference, because I've listened to many things over the years, where just like running podcasts and chats that we runners like to listen to, and particularly the inside running guys in Australia, and I think a couple of those guys have been deficient in iron a few times, and anytime they get like the iron, I think some of them have had like an iron infusion, where like their iron has been like chronically low, and then they get the infusion and they just feel like amazing. And
I
it's
think you
pretty
have.
much instant as well.
Yeah, I was sorry. I was going to say, I think you
No, you're
have
all
to
good.
be like, because I've had a client with an iron infusion, and obviously, and my partner is something we've discussed for her, because again, she's on a plant-based diet, and in the past has identified being low iron, not like ridiculous, but I think they do say it's, again, I probably would get one if I needed it, but they'd only give it to you if you need it, and I think there's some
Yeah,
side
you have
effects.
to be chronically low. Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they say, I had a client that had it and was like, "Oh, you can end up feeling really crap after it potentially." So I
And
don't
you
know,
don't like needles, man?
and I wouldn't be able to sit there now. Mate, this woman had the needle in my arm for. She took 3 vials of blood, which probably took about. Oh, mate, in my head it was about 20 minutes. I think it was probably about 30 seconds, and I. So this is a fun fact here, a little bit of an anecdote. My defense mechanism is, and I have to tell this to the nurse or whatever whoever's taking the blood, is that I start laughing, like almost
Like a
hysterically.
nervous laugh.
Like, no, there's levels to it. Like, I cannot function. I'm literally just straight laughing for 30 seconds in her face. And then she takes the needle out and it just stops. It just stops. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I've just been laughing in your face for 30 seconds.
You wouldn't do very well with one of those like cannulas in your arm. Do you know the thing that
Nah.
where they put the
Yep. I know it.
like the device in, so that basically they can just give you like if you were staying in hospital,
The
for example,
IV drip.
you could have a cannula in for like a week.
Nah,
Um,
bro.
I've had one of those in a few times for a number of days. And I don't think you do very well with it, because it's just like a piece of apparatus just in your arm constantly. It's just like it's like a permanent big needle in your arm. That's what it's like.
No,
And you can feel it as well. It's quite sore.
Yeah. You're gonna make me go squeamish on camera. Yeah, no. And again, I was listening to, I probably mentioned this last week, listening to Tyler Hamilton's book, and they're talking about just getting blood transfusions basically every few weeks. And I'm driving, I listen to audiobooks in the car. I'm driving
You're
along,
wincing.
feeling myself getting squeamish, and I'm like, this is dreadful. I think that probably added to the nerves, to be honest. But yeah, long story short, I wouldn't be able to get an iron infusion, because I wouldn't be able to sit there for probably more than 20 seconds with anything in me.
Yeah.
So it's tablets, it's heavy tablets. And
Well, it's good to hear things are in a good spot. I did get some blood work done a while back. Probably like a year ago now. And again, everything was pretty good. Excuse me, I'm yawning here. yeah, everything was good, and like you say, it's great to get it done, especially as someone that is training a lot and everything else, um, because sometimes you can like think you're feeling normal, but actually you could
Mm.
be low on energy or you could be low on something that's essential. So yeah, it's definitely something that if you can and if it's something that is feasible for you, I would recommend doing.
I think the caveat and the issue I think people find, and this would be more so the case in the UK because the NHS I know are a little bit less trigger happy than here in Australia, but
A
you
little bit,
yeah, you have to be a little bit more. In all fairness, since you were in Australia, they've tightened up a lot. They won't just
yeah.
like. I remember back in it would have been 2020 or 2021. I literally wanted to get my testosterone checked because I've always had a hard time building muscle, and I was like, man, something just. I just want to know if it's this or not,
Mm.
and I just
Yeah,
went
you want to
into
remove the doubt.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And it's just an interesting thing. And in the UK, they're never going to test for this. They're never going to test for this because it costs them money. But I literally went to my doctor at the time and was like, oh, I feel like a little bit low energy. I feel like I can't build muscle. Can I do a testosterone check? And he was like, yep, here's a referral. Go get it done. Cost me nothing. Whereas now I think they're a little bit like, okay, we probably should be charging this because it's not really
Mate, exactly the same. When we were living in Melbourne, I was training and wanted to get blood work done. Walked into the doctor's surgery right by where we were living in the city in Melbourne, and got blood work done then and there, like a full blood profile. I've still got the documentation.
yeah, yeah.
Um, they were able to take the blood samples in the doctor's surgery there and then, and report back on them like 3, 4, 5 days later in the surgery, and it was like 2 minutes from where we were living. I was like,
Yeah.
"That is this serious? Like this is unbelievable." Um, Whereas, like as you say here, if you want to try to, and it's because we are so. I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but the pressure right now
Mhm.
on the NHS and the health service and the shortcomings of the service, there's no such thing as like optimizing health. It's all about firefighting
Yeah.
and sort of reactive healthcare.
It's a shame, but it's true.
But that's just the way it is. You kind of have to
Mm.
be an advocate for your own health. So if you want to get blood work done from a health perspective, it's definitely gonna cost you.
It's I think it's either going to
But
cost or I think
your health's your wealth, right?
for sure. I think it's a necessary investment. Honestly, like I was ready to pay, but otherwise, I think the only way to get around it, and this isn't a hack or anything, but like if I was going to a doctor and say, oh, I've recently gone onto a plant based diet, even though it's not true. I've been on plant based for a very long time. They might do that. Or if you start complaining of actual symptoms, that's when they're a little bit more kind of open to giving you referrals without cost. But yeah, it really depends on where you go and what country you're in. But
Yeah. So tell me this then: how are you going
mm,
to fix the iron deficiency or the slight iron deficiency? Is that just through more supplementation?
yeah, basically, because I take a multivitamin at the moment that has like a
You're
small.
not going to go. You're not going to go buy a T-bone or anything like that.
Nah, there'll be no there'll be no.
Sorry, mate. I shouldn't have said that.
Nah, that's okay. You're allowed to have a little bit of banter on a Friday morning. Now there'll be no T-bone for me. It will just be heavy iron tablets, and yeah, that's it. Like in all fairness, if I was desperate, I probably would go and get an infusion. Because like you said, they work instantly. But I'm happy to play the long game, do some supplementation, and then reassess in about 6 months, just to see where my levels are at. Um, yeah. Otherwise, there's not much. And to be honest, the rest of my blood work, I don't. From memory, there was no major red flags. I think they found that my fasting blood glucose was actually a little bit high, which is a sign, believe it or not, of type 2 diabetes, because obviously it means you've got more sugar circulating around your bloodstream, which isn't good because that's how insulin resistance starts. So what should happen is when you have sugar, glucose in the blood, your body produces insulin, and that takes the sugar out of the blood into the cells. But if it's a little bit high, it's a sign that that's not happening. And I was talking to Scott about this, and obviously I'm definitely not a typical candidate for type 2 diabetes. And what it could have been is that I was so nervous. Like I said, I was shaking in the waiting room. It could have been that I was like producing so much cortisol that I'd had a spike in blood sugar, and that's probably the most likely cause.
Are they going to retest it?
Now, again, we'll probably retest in about 6 months, but I was explaining that, look, chances are I'm going to be just as nervous, so there's nothing from preventing it happening again.
Yeah, and that's the important thing to note on blood testing as well. It's a snapshot. It's not a like, this is your permanent state of that's the permanent state of your blood. It's a snapshot, and of course some things will change faster than others, and some things are more settled. But that's the important thing to remember, and a really good practitioner will explain that.
One thing, actually, I was talking to Nicole about this, and one thing she was mentioning is I know you can get continuous glucose monitors, which are actually quite inaccurate, but you can also get the finger prick tests that they do with diabetes patients. So, I mean, I haven't even looked at it. I might talk more to Scott about this, but just to kind of rule anything out, I might see how much they are, and I could just test it a few times of a morning or even after dinner, because it could be that my worry, and I'm sure you know about, and you know of the athlete Matt Fraser, CrossFit athlete. So I was listening to a podcast he did a couple of years back, talking about how he was obviously, like, I'm 99% sure he would have been on performance enhancing drugs, and therefore that's going to have some kind of impact on his chemistry. But because his food intake was so high, even though he was like very low body fat, very high percentage of muscle mass, that when you take in that much food of any time, I think you run a risk of the body not being able to take it all in. And he was saying how he had to take preventative measures to stop himself from getting type 2 diabetes, because he was taking in kind of upwards of 10,000 calories a day, a lot of which was kind of refined sugars. And we know that they tend to go straight into the blood. And if your body can't take it out, that's where insulin resistance starts. So it's not out the realm.
Beast.
Mate, he was an incredible athlete.
Just search for him on Instagram. He doesn't seem to have Instagram anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I can't find him.
Guy, I know.
Wait, sorry, just have.
It's Matt with one T, isn't it?
It is. It's Matthew Fraser. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a beast. 5 times CrossFit Games champ. My goodness.
Best of all time.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's great. Here, what was I going to ask you? You were mentioning about wanting to kind of go and like race, or like take the shackles off. Do you have a park run close by?
I have relatively close. Yeah, relatively close.
How close are we talking? Because Australia's version of close and the Irish version of close are two very different things.
Yeah, true. Now I could probably get to the nearest. No, I think we've got one. 5
close
minutes.
In Australia could be like an hour away.
Yeah, literally. It's like a bus drive, a car journey, and a walk through the outback. Now it's I think the closest one's probably about a 5-minute drive, I believe. And if
have you ever done it?
I've never done a park run. I'd be up for it. I'd be interested.
Well, that's your way to just like go and have a bit of fun with your. Yeah, when like of course don't go and absolutely race it balls to the wall, but go and like just have a good steady run, have a little warm up. Do the park run, have a little cool down, go for coffee. Can you even get a coffee at that time? Oh, actually, park run in Australia starts earlier as well. 7 a.m.
7, yeah.
Here it's 9:30.
What?
Yeah, well, it's 9. Some places in England it's 9, but here in Ireland it's 9:30.
Mate, the sun's starting to set at that time. We at 9:30. That is outrageous.
Yeah.
No, it's a good point. I think I'd have to be certain, because again, I probably haven't run faster than 4. I reckon 4:50 is the fastest I've probably gone in about 3 months. So I'd have to speak to. I've been referred to a sports physician to have a look at my foot. So I'd probably want to just make sure I'm not going to make anything worse, because the last thing I need is to just to get into a spot of bother again. But yeah, it's definitely it's a possibility. But even just those interval sessions on a nice day where you just kind of you're running at LT1, you just feel absolutely fantastic. I miss that. I
Yeah.
really miss that.
Yeah. That has to be like the most enjoyable part of training,
100%.
because you're clipping along, but you're not destroying yourself.
Yeah, it's basically working at that. Oh man, I can feel myself working, but I could do this all day or all morning. Because it's sometimes I'm getting that on the bike, but you don't get like the runner's height isn't the same, especially when it's on an indoor bike. Like I had a pretty good session today. I did a couple of I did some actually 20-minute. I did 3 20-minute intervals at about 90% of my FTP, and they felt good. But I'm not there going feeling the wind through my hair, going, "Oh mate, this is the best." I'm like, I feel good, and I feel like I'm putting out good numbers, but yeah, my bum's a little bit sore even with my chamois cream kind of situation. So, yeah, but that's what's happening with me. Anyway, Adam, more
Good stuff.
importantly, we didn't really chat about it last week, but how's training been going for you? What's the deal
Yeah,
at the
not
moment?
bad, mate. Not bad, not bad. No idea how much or how many hours of volume I'm doing, but I'm training every day, because I love it. But last week we didn't speak about it, but I'd done a fair bit more like running. I'd done a couple of workouts, which I'll not touch too heavily on because we're into a new week. But I'd done a couple of thresholds, a couple of jogs. And then we got to last Friday when we spoke, and last Friday I didn't really do any training, but last Friday evening I went and played. So, bit of a backstory, me and my two brother-in-laws have been playing a little bit indoor soccer on a Monday evening with another group of lads, which has been great. But there has been a little league set up, and Nathan, my sister's husband, decided to enter us into this little league. So it's on a Friday evening. We went last Friday evening to play our first two games, basically two 15-minute games, I think. And basically we played the first team and we got kicked all over the place. So yeah, I don't know if this is going to be a great idea going forward, because physically kicked.
Okay.
I was like, what is going on here?
Did you give it back, or did you just have to take it and be the bigger man?
Basically what happened is we went in cold. We went in like straight into the game. These boys had been out warming up for like 10 minutes on the pitch, and we just walked in and started playing. So that wasn't too good, and that wasn't too sensible. And then next thing you know, like, we're getting pushed and kicked, and like lads just running into you and running through you.
Yeah.
So I came away from that being like, yeah, I don't know if this is a brilliant idea, because I actually had a game then last Saturday, and was fine to play, but I was actually pretty sore because I had taken a few heavy ones. But it was just one team, because the second team we played, they didn't kick us at all. But there was a ref, and like he was afraid to blow his whistle, and it was just a bit of a shit show, to be honest. Subsequently, the team that kicked us have actually been banned from the league because they actually started scrapping with another team. Right. So these fellas weren't
bit savage.
None of them listened. Bit savage.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So yeah, I'd taken a knock to like the ankle and a knock to my foot. Yeah, we were just getting kicked all over the place. So to answer your question, did we give it back? It took us about 5 or 6 minutes of the game to realise what was actually happening.
Yeah.
And that these lads were getting completely stuck in this. Yeah. And then we started to kind of bite back a little bit.
Yeah.
But
do they make you wear shin pads or?
No, not in indoor. And that's the thing too, mate. You're actually taking much more contact because it's close quarters. So like, it's not as if you're on a full size pitch where you can have a little bit more space and like get away from challenges and avoid challenges if you're smart. But like, you get the ball and there's someone right there, and if he's going to kick you, he's going to kick you. Yeah, so no shin pads plus more kicks. It wasn't a really good combination. So that was tidy. So that was last Friday night. Came away last Friday night being like, what? Like,
what have we done?
So I'm actually not going to play this week because I've actually picked up a slight hamstring niggle. But played last Saturday, played 90 minutes. We lost. I'll not dwell on it too much. But done okay. And then Sunday, actually got out for a 16k or a 10-mile jog on Sunday, just really slow, and enjoyed it. Was really good. Um, Monday, I just got in the gym. Was feeling a bit sore then on Monday, so just did some recovery work, like my prehab. I got on the bike for 30 minutes. I got on the cross trainer for a little bit. Just did like, I think 60 minutes of just really, really low end movement, just to get the blood flowing. And then Tuesday, myself and Kira got over to the pool for an early morning swim, 6 o'clock in the pool. And that was my reintroduction to swimming, which was like a baptism of fire, because they had I can see you're about to say something, so I'll let you go.
Would it have been empty? Because that would be a must for me if I'm swimming now.
No, it was the pool at that time of the day is busy, man.
6.
So yeah, that's the time. I mean, that's like it's kind of like runners as well. There's a lot of people who are proper swimmers, like proper swimmers. That's when they go. I know Kira and her brother done a lot of swimming when they were younger, and as they sort of got into more competitive swimming with the club through their like teenage years or early teenage years, they were swimming before school, and that's just the done thing. So there was like swim clubs, there was proper there was people that were just flying, and obviously I was like drawn to them, because I love like sport, and I was just like watching them. It's amazing to watch them like moving through the water. But pool was packed, and they also had it. So our pool, it's like an Olympic pool, so it's 50 meters, and they can divide it up into 3 pools as well. So they can have a little learner pool. Sorry, they can have 2 learner pools plus a 25-meter pool. When they bring up they can like move the floors and stuff. It's class. But of course they had it open as the 50-meter pool. So I was like, oh my God, like how am I going to swim? Like 50 meters is a long way. I mean, it's a long way. It is. People are probably going to laugh at that who are swimmers and be like, yeah, 50 meters is easy, and I can do 100 lengths of 50 meters. But yeah, it was bloody hard. So jumped in, got the little pull buoy. Do you know what I was telling you about the float that I put between my legs, because my legs tend to sink? It's all that I've learned in the last week by watching reels and watching YouTube videos and speaking to people, that it's probably because of my body position. Kira always told me it was because I'm a skinny runner and like I don't have any buoyancy around my ass, but I actually now believe it's due to my body position in the water, and importantly like my head position. So I'm already working on things, but yeah, I used the pull buoy for the duration, also because my legs were sore, and that sort of stops you from actually using your legs. So I actually done a fair bit. Like we probably swam for like 30-35 minutes. We took, like, I was just doing like 50 meters at a time, and taking like maybe anywhere between a 10 and a 30-second break. But I probably did like 15 or 16 lengths, which I was pleasantly surprised about. And I just got out when my arms were sore.
Okay.
So
that was that was going to be my questions. Is what do you feel is stopping you? So let's say again, I haven't swam ever properly. Really, I can swim. I just haven't done any proper swimming. But let's say I wanted to also do swimming. It's like my question would be, at the end of a length, do you feel like your heart rate is up? Do you feel like you're working aerobically, or is it just muscular?
Well, I think that's the key. You don't want to feel like you're working really aerobically. Obviously, to move your body requires oxygen. And one of the big problems that beginner swimmers have is the inability to breathe properly. This is something I'm learning on the daily, by the way. Like, I don't want to butcher this, and any swim people can correct me if I'm wrong.
Leave comments, and leave comments.
Yeah, you want to be very efficient in how you move. And basically, the reason why I was feeling completely gassed in the past when I swam was because if I was flapping my legs, your legs obviously have huge muscles and they require massive amounts of oxygen. So as soon as you start moving your legs rapidly or fast, you're just utilizing oxygen like this. And if your breathing isn't really efficient, which a lot of people's isn't because they're swimming and like breathing can be tricky, then you're just gonna feel completely gassed. like you're going to do one length and feel completely out of breath and so unfit. And like runners jumping into the pool who are like, I am so fit, I've got a cardiovascular system that's so well trained, they'll still feel completely gassed. So the way you kind of feel if you're like for a beginner, well, it really does depend on how technically good you are. And like, I really expect it to be much worse, to be honest, but the pull buoy, the float between the legs really helps you focus on being really relaxed in your stroke, your upper body stroke. So you can kind of, I'm really trying to work on this glide stroke, which is something that they call it. So like a really nice, long, efficient stroke. And like swimming is all about two things. It's like reduce the drag and increase your power. And for me as a beginner swimmer, I really want to not focus on increasing power. Did I say reduce power or increase power?
I'm not even sure, mate. I got the gist. I got the gist.
Yeah. So reduce drag and increase power. But before I even think about increasing power, I really want to reduce drag. So just increase efficiency, and get this like stroke dialed in, which is difficult as well because you can't see yourself. You can only feel it and listen to what people are telling you, but like no one's watching me. So, the next step could be to get someone to have a look at me.
You should do a couple of lessons maybe.
I know, I think I'm gonna. Kira's like, oh, you know, you don't have to get competitive with everything you do, but like I just enjoy getting better.
Yes, you do.
It's good fun. But like the breathing. So that's what I wanted to just mention in answering your question. The breathing bit's something that you want to get correct, because obviously you have to turn your head out of the water. You have to breathe out. You have to breathe in when your head's out of the water and breathe out when your head goes back in. Yeah. So you want to breathe out through your nose when you go under. And that's a tricky thing because it's all about rhythm. It's all about being confident. You also don't want to like move your head too much to the side because that again like increases the drag. So like when you watch really, really, really proficient swimmers, like I was watching this guy who was just flying up and down the pool when I was finished and Kira was getting ready for work. I was just watching this fella and like it didn't even look like he was lifting his head out of the water. It was actually incredible. His head was almost like the way he was swimming. When he turned his head, there was just like a little natural trough created, and his head was just like tilting into that trough. Like his head wasn't even turning out of the water. Yeah. It was just like it was like this really slight movement. He was creating like a little trough of water. A little trough of air, where his head was when it was time to breathe, and his head was just tilting into that, and he was just flying, and it was unreal to watch. I think he was really young as well. So it's like watching guys like that is absolutely class when you are a beginner. And feeling like a beginner is I actually think it's really cool.
Because you get that learning curve. You can always enjoy seeing the improvements.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that was that. And then any questions on the swim so far?
Couple more bits to add. So you're reducing drag. Does this mean speedos, mate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the Y fronts.
Okay. So
I've actually learned that they're called a jammer.
There you go.
So just like we have bib shorts in cycling and chamois cream in swimming, we have a jammer. So basically a jammer is like half tights that we use for running.
Yeah. The
equivalent in swimming.
Yeah, nice. Okay,
I would have just called them, I don't know, swim shorts, but they're called a jammer.
Swimming trunks back in my day. Utter woke nonsense. Anything else?
Yeah.
And are you getting DOMs after any of these sessions? Will you like be a couple of days later like, oh, my shoulders?
Yeah, my shoulders have been not too bad, to be honest. But a little bit like in the kind of rotator cuff area. Yeah, just definitely a little bit. Like I was down to swim yesterday and had to stop myself because my shoulders were a little bit sore.
Yeah.
So then that was Tuesday. Tuesday night we had football training. So I actually jogged around to football training and jogged home, which was like 2K there, 2K home, plus an hour of football. And just on the back of that, after Saturday's game, sort of towards the tail end of Saturday's game, I could feel like, do you know where basically your knee joins, but at the back of your leg?
Yep.
Just that little crevice.
I know it.
I could feel this like tightness in there. And that was fine. But then on Tuesday night of training, like at the end, I could really feel it. So that's something just to come on to. And I probably, yeah, like I went home, I iced it, and got on to my physio Frank, and he's given me some rehab to do, just to nip it in the bud early.
Is that the calf? Is that like a calf
It's actually
attachment?
it's actually coming from my hamstring, because I can feel it tightening up. The little bit of pain and swelling was it right in that crevice behind my leg, but the tightness, I'm actually feeling quite a bit of tightness through sort of my lower hamstring. But it can come from either. I think it's called distal hamstring, but it can come from the calf as well. But mine is hamstring related. But it's okay. Like it's absolutely fine. It just needs like early intervention.
Bit of
Hopefully
inflammation.
Yeah. So then on Wednesday, I got in for another sneaky swim on my own, like in the middle of the morning. So when Kira got home from work, I was like, I was in the pool today, getting that secret training, because it's something that we're kind of doing together. It's something that we're kind of like, and I was like, I got in for a sneaky swim today and got some secret training in. I kind of felt a bit like guilty.
Yeah. I had to get it off your chest as soon as she walked in.
Exactly. But I was delighted with this swim because I felt like I'd improved. I felt better. Just a day later, the pool was only the 25-meter pool this time, which I was kind of delighted about.
Nice. Yep.
Now I've realized that it actually takes energy to turn as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And it also breaks your rhythm. No, I don't, mate.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, mate, that's a high tariff skill right there.
I feel like you just learn it. Isn't it just like a...
No, mate.
It's my naivety showing.
I'm not flipping. Not for a long, long time. But yeah, I clocked up about, I think I clocked up somewhere between 14 and 1500 meters of
fair way.
So I was delighted. I done mostly 100-meter bouts. So because it was 25 meters, I was doing 4 lengths, and then I was taking a break. Then I was doing another 4 lengths, taking a break. So yeah, my watch tells me I done 1500 meters. Yeah, and so it was somewhere around that. And was pretty, like my arms were pretty cooked at the end of that. Like I went to pull myself up out of the pool at poolside and couldn't, so I had to like swim across the lanes and get out at the ladder. But I enjoyed that. I did. I enjoyed that. That's the last time I've swam. Wednesday night then we had social run. I wanted to get out for a bit of a run before social run, so I did 8Ks. Pre-social run, just jogging, like 4:40 per K pace. And then we had the social run Wednesday night, which was great. It's the first night where we've started in the darkness. The dark nights have now they're on us. So we started at 7:00 and it was pitch black at that time. So that's us. Head torches on from the start. And then yesterday was feeling pretty tired yesterday. So again, just wanted one of those like long, very, very, very low end aerobic days. So got in the gym, was again conscious of the hamstring, so did the rehab, did like a little 10-minute warm up on the bike, did the rehab, and then did like a 35-minute spin, a 25-minute elliptical, and a 20-minute spin, followed by sauna. So just did like 80 minutes of like, I call it zone 1, just very, very relaxed recovery work. And yeah, that was it yesterday. Didn't train last night because of the hamstring. Don't want to risk it. There's no games this weekend, which is a blessing in disguise, because I would have probably pushed to play. And the hamstring could probably do with a bit of a rest. So yeah, going to get in the pool today at some point. Have a bit on today work wise, but going to get into the pool today. And yeah, that's me, mate.
So does that mean that with the hamstring, are you going to pull off of any kind of intense running? Can you still run okay?
Yeah, jogging's absolutely fine. It seems to be like when I change direction or like extend, or probably sprint. I wouldn't. It doesn't feel like that. Like I've pulled my hamstring quite a few times in football back in the day, and it doesn't feel like that where it's going to go. You know, if you go full tilt, it's this like, it's a strange kind of one. Yeah, right at the, like I've actually never had like a tightness there, right in that like right in that crevice
The knee ditch.
behind the knee ditch. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right in there.
Yeah.
Like sitting here right now, it doesn't actually. I can feel nothing. And then going and jogging, I can feel nothing. But I would just, I think playing football is what's going to flare it up. Just the movements of football. Plus probably not being very well warmed up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe once or twice might not have been too good. Yeah. So I just need to manage it and be careful with it.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So have you got like a time frame? Have you spoken to Frank about when it might be good to start?
Not
Playing, or
yet.
just day by day?
I'll be seeing him early next week, face to face. So yeah, like I'll not do any. There'll be no football like over the weekend, and then we'll just see how things go next week. Yeah.
Lovely, mate. Lovely. Well, at least we'll have football to watch back on. The people were like, fuck yeah, no, no football while the international break on. Well, guess what? The football is back this weekend. And
bit nervous, man.
You know what? So am I. I don't even know who you guys have got, but yeah.
We play United on Sunday.
You know what? I don't know if you've seen, but Tifo came out with a post. They took a break, Tifo podcast, while we were on the international break, and they were talking about Man U. I think it was yesterday, and I think the only teams Man U have beaten are teams with 10 men, Chelsea included, or teams that have been newly promoted. I think you'll absolutely slap them. I think you will drag them across the floor. Because not necessarily because Liverpool are fantastic, because again, maybe not the best form at the moment, but because Man U are that bad, is my honest opinion. But
hope so.
For me, I also am nervous because for anyone, I know Aussies love him because he is Australian, but we're playing Ange's Nottingham. He has not won a single game since being in charge, and this could be the game that gets him fired. But what always happens is when Chelsea plays a team that are about to fire the manager, we end up losing. And
imagine you get fired already,
mate. They'd be on their third manager of the season.
Their owner's not wise, like
he's a bit of a loose cannon.
Yeah, he's not wise at all.
But mate, to be honest with you,
that's his thing. That's his philosophy, isn't it? And I think any manager going in there is going to know that and expect that. I just don't think that suits a club like Nottingham.
I mean, to be honest, look at where they've come from, though. They've got themselves not only promoted,
but
I
know
they're in European football. They were on the precipice of Champions League last season, were it not for us.
Sack the manager,
and then to be honest, they probably shouldn't have sacked Nuno. I know he had a falling out with the owner, but I'm like, mate, look what you've done this to yourself because you had Nuno is a good manager. Ange, I don't think is, because Ange is very dogmatic and he's very one-dimensional in his style of play. And now look at them; they're ready to sack another one. So
mental,
yeah. So at least we've got that to keep us.
It's early kickoff as well.
Us or
your early kickoff Saturday,
12:30, isn't it?
12.
Yeah.
We're 4:30 Sunday.
Yeah, never back the early kickoff, as they say.
No, never.
But yeah, at least we've got some football to keep us busy. But look, outside, before we wrap up and outside of training, you got anything happening this weekend?
Not really. Our mate that I was telling you about, Squire, he's in the final on Sunday, so he's captaining his team in the county final on Sunday. So we'll go to that and watch that, which should be a good day.
Is that local?
Yeah, it's Sunday evening. It's about half an hour here from home. Sunday evening, I'll miss the Liverpool game because it's on at the same time. So that'll be good. Looking forward to that. And no, mate, I don't think much else. I'll do a bit of training like Saturday because no game, so I'll do something. We actually did Pilates this week as well. We did, myself and Kira did a Pilates class. Not reformer, not like on the
machines.
Those fancy machines. It was just like in the gym. So it was kind of like, I've never done Pilates before. It's kind of like a cross between like yoga and like core work, I would say.
It's hard.
It was hard.
Did you enjoy it?
That's what Kira asked me at the end, and I was like, I don't know if I did.
I think the answer is
Didn't really
probably
like.
no then. Yeah.
No,
I feel like
no,
you'd know. I feel like you'd be like, yeah, that was good.
it didn't like. It didn't set the world alight for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it was good. I love feeling like I've really like worked.
Mm-hmm.
I like feeling like when I go to a class or go to a workout, like I've done something, but kind of came away from that being like, it's not like yoga where you come away feeling really zen and relaxed, where
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I wasn't like that was tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It was okay.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I've done one reformer and one mat Pilates. I know it's called mat Pilates. I know. I'm down
That's the
with
one.
the ladies, um, but I I had exactly the same thing where I came out of it going, oh man, that was tougher than I realized. But would I want to do it again? Not really. Like I think a lot of it is just keeping up with the Kardashians kind of situation. Like, oh, it's just a thing to
No,
do.
this was good because it was like, it wasn't one of those like fancy. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like I think a lot of those classes, and I'm going to get maybe in trouble for saying
No,
this.
let's do it.
A lot of those, a lot of those classes are like people just do them to like it's for the Insta.
Yep.
It's for the
Yep.
matcha afterwards. It's for the Lululemon kit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just for the look.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
And there's
probably not
nothing
the
wrong
right.
with that. To be honest, there's
No,
and again,
if that's your thing, that's your thing.
do
But
it.
this
Mate.
was like just in the local leisure centre. It wasn't a fancy pants class. It was. It's included in like our leisure centre. I can't even speak. Our leisure centre's membership.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it wasn't like one of these classes that you do for the gram. It was.
Mm-hmm.
It was very much just bread and butter. So no, listen, it was good. And like Kira said during it or after it, like this is probably good for you, Adam, because you do train a bit and your body's probably pretty tight, and it is good to do something that's just not like intense. So yeah, like I probably will do it again, like once a week. It probably would do no harm to do that. And again, like it's something that we can do together, which is always good. So yeah.
Brilliant,
That
mate.
was something from last week that I forgot to tell you about.
No, that's
but
good.
no real plans this weekend, which is good. We'll just take it pretty chill. What about you?
Yeah, nice. Yeah, no, it's a quite weak weekend for us as well. Like we don't have a whole heap on from now until Christmas again, just with having a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old, and having a pregnant. I'd say she's officially heavily pregnant. Like we have to be kind of cautious with what we do, because sometimes
When is she due, mate?
she's due. So official due date is Jan 1st. So happy New Year to us, but yeah, obviously that could come either side of New Year. So we're kind of just yeah, taking each weekend as it comes. We'll catch up with some friends Saturday afternoon. We'll go to the pub. Funnily enough, it's Scott and Grace who from Tailored Healthcare. They're good friends of ours as well. So and they've got a little one. So we'll take the kids to the park, take him out on his bike. And I will definitely do some kind of long ride on Sunday morning. How long and what exactly I do, I'll decide what looks fun on Zwift. But yeah, real chill. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, yeah, that'll be it. So
Nice one.
hopefully have something fun to some good training the week ahead to chat with you guys about next week. But I think that's probably a nice place to leave it there. We're almost bang on the hour mark, which is spot on. But yeah,
Not
guys,
too far away.
we've done very well. But
Good speaking to you, mate.
as always,
As always.
and speaking to you as well. And thank you. I haven't really
Oh.
thanked. Go on,
Sorry, buddy.
please.
Just want to very quickly wish those running Dublin Marathon, which will be this weekend when this podcast goes out,
A belated.
the very, very, very best of luck. No, it will be.
Or is it not this one? The one coming?
Dublin is Sunday the
There you go.
26th. So
Time
just want to
travel.
wish anyone that's running Dublin Marathon the very best of the legs in Dublin. And we normally go down to support. I'm not sure what the crack is this year. We might have some half-term plans, but if we don't, we'll be in Dublin watching and supporting. But yeah, just good luck to anyone that's racing in Dublin this weekend. And a very well done to those that raced in Lisbon
Amsterdam.
and Amsterdam
Yep.
last weekend,
Mhm.
which is, I'm again talking in. We're now talking like
We are time
it's
traveling
before
big
the event
time.
has happened, but this podcast will be
After.
released after the
Yeah.
event. So a massive so I don't know your result right now, but a very well done to you guys who ran in both Amsterdam and Lisbon on the weekend. I've got a few athletes running there, so huge well done to you guys, and good luck to those Dublin this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know anyone. I know. I just want to say a special good luck to. I haven't spoken to in a while, but David, who coached me when I was competitively running before my injuries. I know he's running Dublin, so I don't. Good luck to everyone, but specifically the only person I know who is actually running it. Good luck to David.
Yep, good luck to you, David.
Looking forward to seeing you smash it, hopefully, and get a great time. And yeah, good luck to everyone who's doing any kind of other racing, running, training. Thank you as always for obviously liking, supporting, following the podcast. We still get some really nice comments and feedback, so much appreciated. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys again soon. Thanks and take care.